Boosh. And you can...
Ow! Oh,
Honestly,
I forgot you do that.
Yeah, he does
Hey, everybody, how's it going? I hope that your ears somehow manage to survive it. For the love of God, Sin, realize that.
Hey,
Welcome back
I'm
to
glad I
another
started
episode.
after it.
Sin,
Welcome back
look,
to another
I-
episode of My Hero Academia, except it's a Jumpchain
Oh,
this
my
time.
head.
I have to keep you on your toes, Sin. You know
Dude,
this.
you haven't done it
On
for
your
a
toes,
while,
you
and I
can-
wasn't expecting it. Oh. Ooh.
On his toes, forget that. He probably jumped high enough that his head went through the ceiling.
Oh, yeah, there's
But
a hole
hey,
up there now.
At least now he knows how to properly audio balance the video.
Well, you know, I keep trying, but our audios are very different. Anyways, so yeah, welcome to another episode of Jumpchain, MHA, Misfits. Today, we're continuing off from where we were before, which is in the classroom. But as you can see, there are many more students here than there were previously. Specifically, 3. Her, him, her, and her. No, Spiderwood Chick wasn't new. That was Spider Chick new? Yeah, Spider Chick's new.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I
Spider
don't
Chick's new.
remember last time. I only remember 4 people that were in here before.
Yeah, anyways. Oh, no, it's, you,
Spider
you, and you, all the new ones, because Moochie made the monkey just recently. The spider was last time, because you commented. Oh my god, why is there a spider?
Namida Mashira, Mio Yasunori, and Kenji Himomoto.
Yeah, all the random people. Anyway, so, I believe we're going with a roll call from Juarez. So, go ahead, and I'll...
Oh boy, I get
Jesus
to do this.
Christ, let me turn you down.
Oh, you do not understand. Alright. Alright, tell me when you got me turned down. Because I'm loud and bombastic.
I'll
By the
turn
way,
down
I'm
to
gonna
130.
tell Namida to eat quietly.
He still look at you and start sipping as hard as he can.
Alright.
Oh, we're not gonna. Oh boy, this is not gonna go down well.
Well, you see Dollhouse like pull up his book and you see him like open it. Onyx.
Ron's fiddling with like his armor right now, kind of trying to fix the firing mechanism because it seems to be a wee bit broken. He wasn't paying attention. And then once he got it right, turns around, kind of aims his arm in the slight direction of Metal Mouth, and then
Dunk.
fires off the electricity.
Sin, what happens?
So as your electricity it starts traveling along the ground, which you have a real smug look on your face because it's traveling the way you want to. And then, in order to give you an idea what it looks like, I'm going to use yellow.
That's his intended path for it.
Yeah.
To go.
It gets almost to her and then yeets up, yeets this way, and yeets at you and just shocks the crap out of you. It's very odd because you can see almost in slow motion the lightning almost hitting her and then yeeting upwards and then just back towards you, and you feel quite a shocking sensation.
Yeah. And Dollhouse is staring at you, by the way, just looking at you with his book open, and his smile is gone for a moment, and you notice he just looks irritated, and he's like, "Don't try to harm the other students in the classroom. You can do that on the fields, not here." And you notice that he picks up a book from underneath his desk, a hard book, and chucks it at you.
Ron just quickly raises his hand to magnetize the book, stop in midair.
Good. See, you're now learning how to be not stupid. All right, let's continue.
I can't.
How do you magnetize a book?
Guys, I can't touch Ron's yellow. I can't touch Ron's yellow stream.
Magnetic fields.
Oh, there we go.
Magnetic things and electric things at best.
Don't worry, you're only breaking his brain a little bit. It's like he's making a field of,
Okay, yeah.
The way it works. See, I generate the magnetic field and I encompass it around an object. That object then becomes magnetized itself within the field, letting it be able to lift up.
Paper can't be magnetized.
The air around it can.
How does it not go through the air?
Because the air, whenever it's magnetized, becomes sort of solid. Like, look, you touch he kind of moves it over to you, and you can just like feel the air. It's like forcing your hand away whenever you try to touch it.
That sounds a lot less like magnetism and a bit more
Air
like
manipulation?
kinda.
Well,
It seems like
gravity,
he's charging the
magnetic.
molecules, and it's more like molecule manipulation, less air manipulation.
Well, you could say it's more gravity manipulation, but isn't that basically what magnetism is? Just gravity?
No.
No.
Gra-
No.
At least
It's
that was
so
the
far
idea
from
of
it.
having. Well, Ron pulls the book back and he sets it down on his table. At least that's what I was thinking when I invented this.
Anyway, so Onyx is here. Washi.
Present. Oh, sorry. Top of the... yeah, I'm present.
Namade.
Nowadays.
Nameda.
I'm trying to find his
Okay, this dude's
personality.
not from Japan, mind you. He's from America.
Well,
So-
yeah, but you can at least read the English characters in the right
So
order.
he looks at you
That's
and he puts down his thing gently, puts down, he notices only like half eaten. Although all of his slurping, he hasn't actually eaten much. He puts down, he's like, I'm here. Oh, what's his actual personality? Oh, what's his?
If
hold on.
it's not
Is
fun,
he
blank,
gay?
I am mad.
No, he has a Japanese accent, but I can't do a Japanese accent, so I'm just gonna go with this voice for him. I'm here. Hi. How you doing? How you doing, good sir? I'm doing good.
You
How
seem
you?
like stare at him for a moment, and you notice a slight twitch. He's like, "Finish up your ramen. Try to be quiet." Risa.
Risa just kind of like looks a little bit bashful. She's like, here.
Narihito.
Gorn. You do the gas mask, dude?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out a way to muffle my voice without muffling my voice.
Don't you have a mask in your room somewhere?
Nope. I mean, at best, I could grab a clean sock and wrap it around my face, but I'm not doing that.
Just cup
You
your
didn't
hand.
have to tell us that you were
Okay.
doing that, but now
Okay,
we know.
all you have to do is cup your hand slightly and leave holes in your hands, and there you go. You've got a slight muffle noise.
Oh, I'm just gonna put my shirt over my face.
That works too.
Present.
Mio.
Present. There we go.
She nods to you. Her voice. She nods to you. And with a very sweet voice. She's American Japanese. She's like, I'm here.
Sophina is eating, so I'm not gonna try. Akia.
Here.
Susumi? Or Susumu? How do you... Look, he looks up from his book. You can tell that he's not Japanese in the slightest. How do you say your name? I apologize.
Mutu. God, it'd be so nice if Muchi was here. Hold on, how the fuck do you
Susumu.
spell this? Susi to
It seems like Susumu.
Susumu is what it looks like to me,
Oh,
but I've never seen it.
It
Don't you even
almost looks like it's
spell that
spelled
correctly?
wrong.
Yeah, that must be spelled wrong because there's no
Because
way
the
an
S
S
and the
can be
T
in
look
front of a
like they're
T.
backwards.
Yeah,
Mhm.
hold on, I got.
So Sumu.
Susumu.
What was this check?
Tsutsumu.
This is the buying check.
It's Tifi's. Not that I'm
Yeah.
saying that one out loud.
It can't. The S cannot be in front of the T. That
Yeah,
doesn't-
this was spelled
not
wrong. Hold
correct.
on.
Yeah, it's Tsutsumu. I think.
There we go.
I don't exactly have the
Mhm.
best pronunciation in the world.
I think yeah.
Yeah, you got it right.
Sutusumaru. Sutusumaru.
Tsutsumu.
Sue, as in to sue someone. Sue, and then moo.
Susumaru.
Susumu.
Hmm?
Oh, that's a
Sutsumu.
maru at the end there?
Wait, what?
Is that
I don't
right?
know.
There's no
Sutsumu.
Maru.
Sutsumu.
Tsutsumu Sakayama.
Yeah, Sutsumu. She grins at you with a teeth that you're fairly certain could be. Is actually chomping on some of the food at her desk at the moment, and by food I mean her table. She just kind of ripped off a piece of a table and is slowly crunching it at the moment.
You see Dollhouse take another random book and chuck it past his head at her.
She grabs it as she just like puts on a table, continues eating.
Stop eating the table, or you're paying for it.
So out of nowhere, Namida's noodles start just fly all from out of his cup into his face.
You
Oh,
see
yeah.
Dollhouse. You see Dollhouse sitting there looking back at you, Onyx, for a moment. Looks at him, shrugs, and continues because he wants to get through this today. Katsubu or Katsubu.
He looks
Or
at you,
Katsubu.
and his face is the epitome of disturbing. As he's like, "I'm here." Ooh, yeah.
It's the same voice you gave now.
No, it's slightly different because
know,
he's creepy. His
same
entire
thing.
like body kind of shifts to left. Like, I'm here.
I'm here. Is that kind of
No, that's
voice?
more creepy.
Yeah. Hi.
The Sin just has to channel Spoon.
You're right. Wait, hold on. Spoons, I'm here.
No.
That
No.
works.
I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah, you see, like Dollhouse look at him for a moment. Again, it's another one of those, whatever moments. Shinichiro, she should.
Shin Ichiro.
He nods
Mhm.
to you, and with a
Shinichiro.
very nice, calm, almost fatherly voice, he's like,
Shin-chan.
I am here. I do apologize for the actions of my classmates.
I feel he would have a very much. He would very much have a James Earl Jones voice.
Shishijima, whatever. Kenji.
He nods, and he's like, I am here.
Bella's here because I can see her being creepy in the back corner. Hatsuru.
That's Spider Girl. She has.
No, Hatsuru
a-
is this
Her
dude.
flaming
Oh,
eyebrows.
yeah. He like kind of like curls up against his seat. Oh, by the way, the Kutsubu is about 4'10", I think. 4'8". 4'6". So he's a small boy. This dude is 5'1", and he sounds Japanese in some way. As he kind of like curls up against his chair, and he's like, I'm here.
See,
Talk
here's
to me.
probably the important thing. Sin seems to be mistaken if he thinks that I'm going to remember these characters' heights.
Well, you know, this guy's height is important for various reasons.
Yeah.
Don't insult his height.
Minoko Komoto or Kimono.
This is the spider
Komoto.
chick. She
Yeah, I
is
know, the Komodo.
Afro-Japanese. I think that's what, African-Japanese? Probably. Yeah, she... What is her personality? Oh yeah, she's playful. She's like fiddling with her web, but she looks at you like, hi! Okay, back to what I was doing.
Okay, so here's the only thing though. Does she have a spider ass?
Does she have what?
Does she have a spinneret?
I don't think so. She has a normal person's body. She just, you notice that she starts spewing web out of her belly button, I believe.
Oh, that's gross.
Oh, and she looks at Ron, and each of her 6 eyes individually blink at him.
Oh no.
All right. And you see, all right, that's roll, and you see Dollhouse immediately slam that book to get everyone in the room's attention. All right.
Oh, I know that sound. I know that sounds way too well.
What, the slamming of a book on a desk?
The slamming of a big thick book on one of them hardwood decks. Yes.
All right.
I know that thing because it has scared me once too many times in the past.
I am Doll. As you see, Dollhouse clears throat one more time. All of your names are weird to me, but I'm also not Japanese, so
Yo,
we're gonna look
same.
past that fact. Hey, foreigner. I am
Hey,
Dollhouse. You
Rudy.
may call me Dollhouse Sensei, Dollhouse, House Sensei, Doll Sensei, or whatever pronouns you wish to use that are ones of respect and/or adoration towards someone older than you.
Sure thing, doll.
I will punch you, young man.
Davida pulls out
Bring
like
Bring it, old man.
out like a Snickers bar or some kind of weird candy or just some kind of like protein bar or something. He looks at you, he's like, "Hey, doll, how you doing today?"
You see Dollhouse look at you both, and all of a sudden, both of your heads hit the desks in front of you for some odd reason.
Woo! That's a
said-
joyride.
I said, you may use things
Does
of
Namida's Snickers bar go like? Does he lose? Does it go out of his hand when he slams his face into the desk?
Yeah, he still grabbed it.
Oh, she wants it so bad.
Nope. I caught it first.
All right. Hey, Washi, do me a favor. Make sure he doesn't eat that because he didn't use honorifics in my classroom. Therefore, his privileges are forfeit when it comes to food.
Yes, sir.
Plus, you're loud, young man. Quiet down. Anyway, you may only again dollhouse is also preferable, but do not call me doll unless you're using doll sensei or whatever honorifics you wish. My quirk is you're not learning it until you figure it out. What? Were you expecting me to just to tell you all?
A little bit.
Well, judging by your name as Dollhouse, my guess is that you have complete control over anyone in a given room.
No.
Hmm.
I mean, if I had complete control, that'd be mind control, but that's not my quirk.
Mhm.
You don't necessarily need to have mind control to have complete control over someone's body.
Risa raises
mean-
her hand.
Yes?
Would it be similar to being able to control someone via sticking strings into them and controlling them like a puppet, considering your back? She points to your puppet on the back.
Oh, him? No, that's just someone I carry around.
Okay.
Someone.
Yeah. See? As he turns the doll around. See? It's just a doll. See, my father's quirk was making dolls, therefore my quirk is making dolls, and I've used that to my advantage. Now,
Ah.
Any more questions before we begin today's lesson? Anything that y'all would like to state to your
Yeah, I
fellow
got a question
classmates?
for you, doll.
Uh,
Can I leave?
no.
You
Oh, by the
see
way-
you see Kutusmaru look at like the people around him. He's like, "Can I like get closer to them?"
Who's Kutusmaru?
Yeah.
Kotosmu.
Tsubi?
I don't know.
Oh
Kusubu.
my gosh.
I
You
Diana.
know, Ultimate!
I don't know how to say their names.
Kotsubu!
It's not that hard! Ultimate!
Kotsubu.
there's
This is
no
why I didn't take Japanese, okay?
You don't
Yeah,
have to
that's
take
all.
Japanese.
English.
You know how to fucking do it.
Ron just stood up and is walking out.
Ron, you notice that your body isn't moving, and you're stuck in place at your desk the moment you stood up.
Oh, okay then.
Mm.
Young man, this isn't my quirk. This is just simply you being idiots and not learning. Oh, so you have multiple people around you that would stop you even if you tried to leave because if you leave, young man, you go to jail.
Can I throw him
I'm not
out,
even looking
please?
around.
Yeah,
I'm not even trying to figure out the quirk. I'm currently just looking at my textbook.
Okay, young man. Let me explain. As Dollhouse, like, he's smiling, he's looking at you nicely.
Mhm.
And it's like, you're a vigilante. We're a bunch of heroes in this school. Therefore, the moment you walked out of this room to leave to go do vigilante work, we would have to arrest you by law. Vigilantism is seen as illegal.
I don't
The
know
reason that you are allowed in this school
do
is as a
almost the exact same thing. Just you guys are somehow legal.
We get
Eh.
license.
and we also learn how
Why
not to
do you
destroy
need
half a
license
block.
To be a good person.
I mean, why do you need a license to be a plumber? It's to prove that you're competent.
Plumbing is actually a skill that needs to learn. Being a good person should just come by nature.
Sakayama
I mean,
raises her
most good
hand.
persons
Can
don't
I
do-
eat his hand?
Who said that?
Satayama. Sakayama.
Oh.
You can
No.
try, bitch.
Sakayama?
You're
Oh
gonna
my
get a
god.
mouth full of 1,000 jewels.
All right. Well, this is time for lesson 1 to start. As all of your mouths close on their own. All right.
Mine's already closed.
Well, yeah, all the people who had their mouths open.
Mhm.
All right, lesson 1. As you see him stretch out for a moment, and you hear his entire body just crack. All right,
Hmm.
and you notice that he took his arm out of his sling and cracked that, and then put it back into the sling. All right, lesson 1. All of you are going to follow me, and we're gonna figure out what your quirks do by actually, you're all going to try to touch me, and not in that way, you perverts. For all of you weird folk in this group, you're going to have to run at me, jump at me, use your quirk to get close to me, and you're going to have to put a hand on my shoulder or some, arm, whatever. We're going to
Oh my
figure out
gosh.
how you and your quirks work together and or your ability. 3 lessons that you're going to be learning in this classroom. 1, how to be a hero. 2, how to be a competent hero who doesn't destroy an entire block doing one thing.
I raised my
Ah.
hand.
And 3, how to smile and treat people with respect and dignity. Because a true hero, as you see small Dollhouse like pointing to his big freaking grin, learns how to smile through the hardest situations. That also means learning how to joke. If
Oh,
at
you
least one of you can make me laugh by the end of the semester, you're getting an A in my class.
I don't know
Wrong.
about you, but I feel like
Wrong.
Onyx has proved himself to be a bit of a joke. But tis.
The moment Dalhouse says that you need to have a big smile, and he's realizing that, oh my god, he's just quoting All Might, he just rolls his eyes and he tones out.
I currently have my hand raised. Yo, Sensei. So, like, does the test start now, or do we need to wait for you to say something?
Figure that's part one. Figure it out.
Yeet! I'm yeeting my hand at him. Like, it's disconnecting with the zipper. I just yeeted my hand at him.
No, you guys see Monkey Boy hanging around Ron. Ron got annoyed and swatted at him.
Yeah,
He
by the
just
way,
starts playing with you, like his hands, like he's touching yours. So he's like moving your hands out of the way. His tail's just tapping your forehead. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
By the way,
Oh,
you notice that Dollhouse lets the hand hit him, and and Dollhouse looks at you and goes, "Says that wasn't the test I was talking about. We're about to go to the gym to do that."
Oh,
you-
yeah, no. Oh, okay. See, I mean, I did ask first.
Yeah.
By the way, just to make sure, Sin, I came in physical contact with him, so there we go.
you came into
That's
physical.
important.
I don't know why that's important, but fair enough. You notice that Dollhouse puts the doll that was with him. By the way, Sin, that doll is not normally there. That's just to show the thing.
Oh, is it
And-
not? I'm sorry.
No, he just had the doll. We're just gonna roll as he had a doll with him just to mess with people,
Mhm.
because again, he's somebody that's somewhat of a jokester. And you see him just place the doll like in his chair that's sitting in the middle, and you see him walk out, and you just see him poke his head in. Y'all coming?
Fair enough.
Ron still
By
can't
the way,
hear.
okay. So that was for my ability to smile like a hero.
Hey, you're starting. You see Dollhouse look you dead in the eye and goes, "Hey, you're starting to understand. Let's go."
You see, Ron, he can't talk still because you haven't said that he's allowed to talk, but he just gets up, but he's like, see where this is going. The fuck?
I'm gonna make him shorter. Hold on. The creepy guy walks up to like Washi. He's like, "Teach me your ways."
Do you mean the way to smile like a hero, or the way to rig a game before it's even started? Because you shouldn't know about that second one.
I would say the first one because man, that smile gets all the ladies.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, so Washi. By the way, do take your cork off me before I forget.
Fine.
The Bucky dude's
I
like,
will-
"Ha ha, he
I'll do-
got you. Oh yeah, oh yeah."
Dollhouse is an experienced hero, by the way, so stuff like that doesn't get past him very easily. You have a good smile.
Akia just
And he
comes
said
and
that-
pats you on the shoulder, Washi.
I'm
You tried.
gonna, you know what? I'm gonna pause. It's like, I'm gonna give him back his Snickers bar, alright, Sensei?
Fair enough, but make sure you take your cork off me, and I will make sure you do.
I take my quirk off of him and hand the Snickers bar back to Namida.
Sweet chomp.
Yeah.
Ah, good day to
God.
be me.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Sophina, oh my gosh, she looks completely scared of what is about to happen.
I lag behind slightly to have a short conversation with Namida off screen.
You notice, Risa kind of walks over to Sophina and she puts a hand on her shoulder. Do not worry, most of the folks here are rather nice, even with their weird
I'm
attitudes.
not too worried about the people, but of me.
Don't worry, there's nothing you can do that that could, in fact, hurt us as long as you care.
Right.
Alright, into this world.
Sin, I basically sent you one line of what I speak to Namida about.
You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough.
Alright,
Oh,
so you may want to
yay! Firestone be here in just a minute.
President isn't here right
So,
now,
yeah. So the president is just kind of back there, kind of hanging out. You also notice two other people are next to him as well. What looks to
dear.
be an octopus, and what looks to be a girl with a weird thing coming out of her head. That's glowy.
Oh, so you mean an anglerfish? Got it.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Salutations,
kinda
other faculty members. Wait, shoot.
well,
Salutations, other faculty members.
the one with the light nods to you and says, "Hi, my name is Koumi. K-O-U space U-M-I. I am your
Koumi.
guidance counselor. Well, one of them. My sister, she gestures to the octopus girl, is the other one. She's not as pleasant to deal with. Hey, I heard that!
Alright. Yeah, you see Doll's kind of ignoring them as he's stretching out his arm, and you notice that every time he moves his left arm, there's a pop. Like, a visual pop, like you can see it, like, setting itself almost in his shoulder socket,
Ew.
like in his shoulder, next to his shoulder blade. Alright. 5 of you at once. Onyx, Washi, Sophia, Ayami, Bella, all at the same time.
Mm.
Oh,
Sophina is
to-
clasping her
Yummy.
hands together.
Hello.
She's
I
not looking
forgot.
happy to do this.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
good.
sorry, I forgot your character's name for a moment. I'm also trying to remember people's names, and
yeah, you good. There's a
Akio.
lot of characters.
Oh, you mean me?
yeah,
We
Akia.
don't have the name tags
Oh,
anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can't
we
see your
don't.
name
We really
tags,
don't.
and I'm going by your character's name, not my name.
Yeah, let me just add some character names here. I would have to retype in all names on there, so I'm not going to, but...
Oh wait, yeah, you can't read Japanese, can you?
Nope.
Hold up. Let me help you there. Whoops.
Yeah,
I-
I can't. I may
High
be able
five.
to speak just a little bit of it, like 1/50th, 1/5000th of it, but I can't
Well, it's
read
more
it.
like
Sadly,
0.1% of it.
kind of.
Would you
That's fair.
say her first name or would you say her last name? Because
Probably first
I guess
name.
it depends on.
because first name
He's
because
American.
remember he's American.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes. He
Yeah.
doesn't care. He'll say your full name, especially if he's angry, but like he's not going to get angry, so he's probably just going to use your first because again, an
Mhm.
American, roughly in a
Mhm.
Japanese school, he understands the honorifics because he's been in Japan for a while, but he also has habits that he is very hard into.
Okie dokie. So
When it
who
comes
did you
to
say?
speak.
Was it the main five or was it?
Yeah, that's just the main 5 because
Okay, cool.
we can just
Yep, yep.
say the rest. All right.
High fire.
You see Dollhouse unclick the thing, and you see him take the thing off. You see him take the sling off, place it to the side of him, roll his arm for a moment, place it underneath the jacket, and he goes, "All right, all of you at me whenever you feel like."
Sophina is holding back.
Would you guys
Alright, so
like to
turning the
roll
ground into
initiative, or would
crystal
this
dust?
be more of a RP thing?
I'm going to loudly proclaim step 1.
RP.
Who's going to be the leader? Who's giving the orders here?
This is more or less, Sin. This is more or less Dollhouse figuring out how they can work together, and also the rest.
Okay,
of the
yeah.
stuff
So we'll
that's
just
been
do a
talked
more
about.
RP thing.
Yeah,
It's
do
the
it
bell
RP.
test.
Ron,
Yeah.
you just see Ron. He just sits down and crosses his arms. He's, crisscross his legs. He sits down. He's just looking at you.
Interesting. So you've chosen the passive route, Mr. Onyx.
So, Sin, as I start turning the ground into crystal dust, I'm going to yell at Washi.
Mhm.
High five, buddy.
That's me.
Are
gonna-
you ready to go super fast again?
I was born to go fast.
And I start manipulating my crystal dust as I make it into that glass-like surface again, between me and Dollhouse.
Nice. Okay.
You're very good at using those crystals. Maybe that's why you wanted to go to UA so bad. Then again, you need more than crystals in this test.
Yeet! I am
And
tossing my hand over to Akiya, being like, another high five!
I grab the hand,
It's wiggling.
and as I okay,
Oh, that's so
Um,
gross.
It really
I'm-
is.
so what I'm going to do is turn. I'm basically going to turn into a gorilla,
Mm-hmm.
and then at the end of my my like glass surface,
Mhm.
as hard as I can, I'm going to throw the hand down onto the glass-like surface to try and bowl it and have it pick up speed as it's going because of how frictionless it is.
That's actually pretty impressive.
All right. You're going bowling with my fist. Good to know.
Yeah, basically.
Jesus
Aw.
Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, Sin, I should probably do this just so that they do have that kind of a thing. Hold on.
Do what? You're good.
Give Ollie a minute.
Stares intently at the
Selena,
battlefield.
I
That
keep
would be a
I
good
keep
time to
stopping.
change.
Oh yeah, okay. That
Should we
works.
roll initiative for us?
I mean, honestly, you guys can if you wish to.
We're
Yeah.
just doing RP stuff, really.
It's either RP or you guys can do. You guys can do
Honestly,
both if you really want to.
I'm hucking my hands. I'm
I
using
think
my
we
rolls anytime there's something that seems to require a skill.
Yeah. Mostly RP, but roll if we need, like, say to throw something or jump or dodge or something,
Yeah.
So,
Feel
for
free to tell me
example, I
what you
feel
guys
like
want to do, and if you guys have
Akia-
overlapping actions, I'll just
Is
coordinate.
that a melee? Would that be a ranged attack for Akia bowling
Or
my
a
fist?
strength roll.
That would probably be a strength roll for you, and then, but there's also other factors in here that are important. So sometimes, even
Okay.
if you get a stupidly high roll, you still won't make it. But yeah, feel free to roll strength if you wish.
What do I? Okay, and then we also have to figure out what I add because I'm in gorilla form.
Probably a +1 to whatever roll you roll, because you already have your plus to it.
Yeah, so just a strength, and then we'll add one.
So that's a 13. It sails. It does. It kind of you fumbled a little bit like you would inside of bowling. You're not used to going to gorilla mode and bowling with a hand, especially not one that's wiggling in your own hand. It is
I'll
one
have
of the
you know
grossest.
I keep mine locked in a fist.
Oh well.
I'm not gross.
I mean, I feel like you are, but sure.
Uh,
But you never tried bowling with a hand before, because you never got the opportunity to have a hand in your hand before, but you're selling. So you start throwing it across the thing, and it just kind of slides. It's not the fastest in the world, but it does slide. And eventually it gets to about there. Wars.
And it stops. It stops dead in its track. Kane, your hand feels like it's being constricted.
Cool. As I already mentioned earlier, I do already have a zipper on my hand because it's what I used to get rid of that
Yep.
Snickers bar earlier. So I'm going to spit into my other palm so that I can get spit in the other area to start opening more zippers. Zipper
Ugh.
portal.
Yeah. You notice that the hand is looking at the floor.
Dunk.
Yeah. So I'm gonna open a portal underneath the hand so that I can fall vertically from where I am to where my hand is.
Ooh.
Unless your quirk prevents that, of course.
It doesn't prevent you from moving like that. However, the moment you get in that, you're trapped, and Dollhouse has seen your quirk now fully. So the moment you fall in, you notice that your jaw clamps shut. You now notice that you can't move anything, and it feels like a marionette. You can't say anything to anyone, and you notice that your body isn't moving. And Dollhouse stares at you, smiles,
And you say it's reliance on knowing my quirk all the way through, or just the fact that you witnessed me using it?
I just witnessed you using it, therefore I'm preventing you from doing the same thing, the same action.
Oh, so you're okay. So you're preventing me
Okay.
from using my spit to open things up.
Correct. But I'm not preventing you from, say, using your quirk. Again, this is Dollhouse fully learning your quirk. He was the one watching. He was watching you, and he's the one who was controlling the robots during your exam.
Okay.
He doesn't know your quirks
I-
entail, so this is him learning your quirks. So he's going to try to prevent one side of your quirk when he can to stop you from moving in his trap. So let's go to another person and see what they do. real
Safina.
quick.
I turn into a beast. I get really scared because I'm scared about what I'll do to him, and
That is true. Yeah.
And then I shift.
Okay, so you start getting kind of terrified of the idea of, really hurting him or any of the individual people around you specifically. And then Akia
not
being
wrong,
like,
but,
Huh?
Maybe not too much for Ron, but hey,
Yeah, you're also terrified of the fact that the blue vigilante, the blue bomber, is like, what, 15 feet away from you? 25 feet away from you?
Scared of him. I'm apprehensive, I think, of another danger, but it's not a danger right now.
But the fact that
He
Korn
could
is
be,
now
but he's
trapped,
not.
It does start to get into protective mode as you do in fact shift into your beast form, which is quite disturbing.
Can I shift
Oh, hey,
again?
wait. Actually, is Sophina the one that I was loudly shouting about needing to protect?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
You can in fact do your double power up at the moment, which is gonna be kind of painful for you because your body is moving constantly. But you are in fact able to do your muscle growth to make you even bigger.
Would that take up my movement or action speed? Or that's 2 actions and one action and 1 movement?
The shift is a free action. Also, your other thing is a free action as well. No, it's a movement action. So you can, for example, throw shit at Walrus, but you can't really do too much else.
The main goal was to touch Dollhouse?
Yeah,
You
that's
can-
the only goal y'all have in this thing.
Yeah, you
There's
can
no-
also run towards them, but you can't really attack or anything like that.
Can
So-
I run towards him and then just swipe him with my body to get him rocketing to him?
You can try.
You
Okay,
want to
okay.
like tackle Kane at
I don't tackle
Dollhouse?
him. I just freaking smash him forward with my palm.
Jesus
at him.
Christ.
You see,
Oh no!
so you are putting your arm into the circle, correct?
Yeah.
All right. You just made Kane's situation so much worse because the moment Kane hits the edge right here, his entire body can't move. It's fully restricted, and your entire arm, you can feel it. You can feel strain. Your
It's a
entire
lot.
arm,
Wait,
and you.
wait, question. My hand wasn't attached to my body, but that means it's right in front of Safina.
Still
right?
on the floor, yeah.
Yeah, it's on the floor in front of her. And Kane, you're stuck there. You can't move at all. Your body's completely restricted at the moment. Like, everything but that hand is restricted.
When you say everything is restricted, exactly how, like, obviously I can't move my lips, for example, but what about vibration of my vocal cords?
Your body can vibrate your vocal cords. However, like, again, anything inside the body is fine. It's any outside action.
Okay.
You can breathe. Like, you're still capable of breathing and such.
Mhm.
But your body physically can't move. You can't open your
Also,
mouth.
Kane's
you can't
in.
turn
You're
your
probably in a lot of pain being pimp slapped by a giant beast.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I thought it was where we could rocket you out.
Basically,
Apparently
Kane,
not.
you got pimp slapped straight into the thickest part of Dollhouse's cage.
Shit, sorry.
Gonna
And-
narrow my eyes and gonna roll my tongue around in my mouth for a moment before a zipper appears on over my mouth, because I can create it on my own body, as I'm going to huck an unzipped from my body tooth through the zipper out towards you to test things out.
Yeah, you notice the moment it leaves your mouth,
That's
it's stuck
disturbing.
right in front of you now. You see
Oh,
Dollhouse.
that's
By
gross.
the way, Dollhouse at this point, the moment she transformed, you saw him button up his jacket and his other arm go into the jacket. So now you can't see either one of his arms.
The tooth is
Zipper
not
on
just
my-
hanging in the air.
Zipper on my hand kind of shifts a bit as I reconnect it to inside a zipper inside of my mouth. As you hear, okay, huck my hand and hit the ceiling. Oh god, lips are important. Hand
Can-
at ceiling.
Can I? So that giant bowling alley of crystal. Can
Yeah.
I turn that back into dust, and as it's dust, create a like let's see here. Can I create like a cloud of dust just like right here?
The cloud doesn't work quite well because you actively have to like toss it into the air because you're just creating
Okay.
dust itself.
Fine.
So not
Okay, I
quite,
get you.
but yeah.
Okay. All right, that's fine. That's fine.
Mhm.
I will shift into a full cheetah form
Okay.
and run and hide behind the giant
Beast.
beast
The
for now.
cleric. The
Okie
cleric.
dokie. Her arm is stuck. It seems to be stuck at the moment, by the by. So, Ronnie boy, do you have anything you like to do as you're watching all this?
Nope, he's just watching.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Fire, are you back? Fire.
So I don't think she's back.
Hello?
Because she went to the bathroom earlier, but I'm not sure if she came back.
So
Alright,
did you
wh-
see my message?
Yes, I did. I actually replied to you in DMs.
Oh, really? There?
Yeah. I don't know how to reply
have-
via whisper.
/W and then space and then my name.
I would not be able to type out your name in any way, shape, or form.
Oh my
I
god,
just
Control
changed.
C.
Oh, you
Control-
did just change it? Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Wait, you can control
Alright.
Z? Okay.
So you
Anyways.
see, so they've all basically made their move, correct?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You see
Well,
Dollhouse
Ron
look
made
at
no
you.
move.
Well,
Mhm.
yeah, Ron
Yeah,
made
they
no
both
move.
skipped.
Yeah. You
Unless
see
Fire's back.
Dollhouse look at you, Kane, and go, I want you to take 3 steps back. And as he says that, you take 3 steps back.
Against my will, or
Mhm.
like I choose to?
No, against your body physically, as soon as he says that, moves backwards, and you can feel the strings themselves connected to your joints.
Oof.
Good boy. Now, lesson 1, perception. Lesson 2, teamwork. Kane, Akia, so far you two have worked out pretty well. Sophina is fine. She doesn't have to worry about me in any state in this test. I have dealt with much stronger and bigger foes. Onyx. Congratulations. You chose the perceptive route. You chose to wait for someone else to act, therefore you already know what's going on, roughly. You know that they can't move.
Mhm.
Belle has decided to do nothing either, therefore she has also chosen the perceptive route. Now, I want you to keep trying to get close to me. Your test of this will end until one of you gets at least within 10 feet of me. Let's say there. Now
Okay, but
continue.
is anyone gonna huck my hand at the ceiling like I said?
I will crawl as my I'm gonna crawl under Sophia.
I don't
Pick
think
up
I
your
know
hand.
language, so it has to be
Yeah.
Akia.
She really doesn't.
Yeah, I crawl underneath the giant.
You don't have to crawl. I'm 16 feet tall. You
Oh,
can,
okay.
You can
Well,
just stand.
You're
I'm trying to
slowly
be
walking
stealthy.
under her thing, trying to be
Yeah,
as
I'm trying to be
inconspicuous as
stealthy.
possible under a giant
and
16-foot tall creature.
Right, and I'm gonna. Actually, you know what? Oh, I really don't want to touch your hand, because I really don't want to get stuck.
Can you use your crystals to do anything?
You
Oh,
could
dude, okay.
start waving it
Yeah.
towards you.
Yeah,
like a
I'm
crystal
gonna.
wave.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn back to my half fox form, stand right here, and then use my crystals to like grab your hand and start yanking your hand towards me.
Grab my hand.
It's a
Starts to
very odd
slowly
sensation.
wave towards you, I assume. Mars?
And
Sorry,
yeah.
say that again.
Yeah, she starts to slowly wave the hand towards her using her sea of dust, essentially, to be like an ocean wave.
Fair enough.
Mhm.
You do
Okay.
notice, so basically she makes a wave of dust that more or less brings it back towards her. That's going outside of the thing, so you notice that the hand is let go relatively easily. Washi, your hand feels like whatever was on it, which at this point you know to be string,
Mhm.
has let go of your hand completely. And basically Dollhouse is keeping the string when they're not on a person concealed, and therefore, yeah, you guys realize, but he's also not going to make his, like, he's basically letting go of your hand because she's taking it outside of where he wishes to be.
Mhm.
And
I'm
you
gonna
see,
look at Dollhouse and be like, so your quirk involves string. Is that right? Cool.
Spider!
So, I have. 1 second. You can hear me continuing to swallow something for a moment. Oh, God. I hate the taste of antacid. So, basically, like if I threw my hand at you or my leg at you, hot chunks of my body at you, you'll stop them because you can attach strings to them.
kind of.
Cool. How's that ceiling? I'm gonna point up at the ceiling.
Ike, have you thrown it yet? Yuki?
Yuki.
what?
Have you thrown it?
Yeah. I picked it up as soon as it was released. I picked it up and threw it at the ceiling as hard as I
cool.
could.
I want
Do I need to make a roll for that?
to hit
Uh,
above him.
Stay above the ceiling? That would
To
be...
hit above, hit the ceiling above Dollhouse.
Yeah, you're a
Oh,
cheetah
dang
at the moment, so that'd be a strength
No, I
check.
turned back into a human
did you?
because I had to. Well, in order to use my crystal, I have to be
Oh, right,
my
right,
half
okay.
fox form.
Let me look at your character sheet real quick. You have... Not a lot of dex, but you have a lot of strength, so roll me a dex.
Dex.
Yeah, because you have a lot of strength, so you just instant pass that. That's enough dex. Yeah, so you're able to hit pretty much directly above, Dollhouse. It's about a, 40-foot, ceiling, I think?
Okay.
It's quite
Now,
high.
I assume that when my hand starts falling down, it's going to stop above him, right?
Kind of.
Are
Again,
you going to
Dollhouse
move
is
it?
also...
Hmm?
Again, yeah. I mean, Dollhouse is going to move you because he knows what you're doing. Again, he watched you do these things. He's watching you been doing these things. The moment your hand gets above Dollhouse and it hits his barrier again, you notice that the hand spins upwards to where the thing is facing up.
Okay. I'm going to take a slow, deep breath and
Oh.
say, all right, I'm so sorry for this, but I drank a lot of milk and a lot of antacid.
Oh no.
Oh,
Mm.
God.
So she hit the ceiling. There is a zipper now on the ceiling. Milk helps the burning sensation of the stomach acid a lot.
Oh.
And as Sin can confirm, all of my bodily fluids are able to trigger it, meaning that I'm currently trying to use the hole in the ceiling to vomit on you.
Oh, gross.
Oh,
Fair enough.
God.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if Dollhouse's strings can stop fluids.
Sin, you want me to roll a dex for that?
It's a pretty high dex check, but yeah.
I mean,
Nat 20.
Not nat 20, but... You are able to create was essentially a, not a mesh, what is it called? Pretty much it's a barrier directly above your head. It will have to be a thick barrier in order to make it so it doesn't
Yeah.
splash on you. So it would be quite obvious
yeah.
what you're
You
doing,
notice
but
that,
yeah.
so you basically notice that the moment that you start puking,
Mhm.
above Dollhouse is basically an umbrella. And you see him just sit
Very
there.
thick.
And you notice
Wait.
the strings are white,
It's thick. It's
Mhm.
physical.
kind of.
In order to catch liquid without going through, it would have to be able to roll off of it. So there would have to be very little to no gaps.
And Sin, it's thick enough to make a zipper on.
Yeah, but he could easily just disperse it instantly.
You'd have
Oh.
to do that first.
He would have to disperse it while the fluid is still above him.
He'll sit
No, I
there
don't think
and
I can
he'll-
actually use that. I don't think I can actually pull that off. Never
Again,
mind.
you're puking. I would assume that resting and puking would kind of immobilize you. I'm only saying this because I don't know your character. I'm only asking. Would that make him immobilized for a moment or two? I mean,
It
you
actually
still have
depends
the
on an
thing.
endurance roll, but it's not like, as Sin can confirm because we've discussed my character's backstory. I've got a strong. I'm pretty good. Do you think a 13 passes based on what you know, Sin?
There is a quirk for that. There's a perk for that, isn't there, to be unhindered by physical pain?
Potentially, I don't think I have that. It's just you know that my character.
Oh yeah, because the
Since you're
backstory.
GM, I want to know, is a 13 good enough?
You aren't
To stay focused.
immobilized, but you are very, like, you're kind of nauseous. Yeah, it would not take a whole lot to make you immobilized at this point.
Okay. I'm gonna
Okay.
wipe the vomit from my arm. Be like, I almost won.
To be fair, that's actually a really good idea
So-
because I can't exactly disperse those strings at the moment. So
Okay.
I'm
I'm gonna go first. I'm going next though. But
Yeah. I have
go ahead.
Sophia, and then I have Akia, and then I have Ron if he's there.
I'm
Okay.
here.
Yep.
Mm.
Sophia?
So give me basically the overhaul. What's happening here? So he has.
So
something
he's
above
standing in the middle. Yeah, there's a very thick, basically umbrella of string above his head. Corin is still more or less wrapped up in some string. There's a bunch of, I'm assuming, vomit, just kind of cascading down the string thing that's hitting the ground next to
Oh yeah,
dollhouse.
it's
Sorry.
it's probably well. Let's see.
Do I see like an outer or anything?
You see that mainly your point of view vision, he hasn't moved a lot. Physically, he hasn't moved. But you, because of your specific way of seeing things, you are seeing a bunch of strings moving through the air, specifically curling around above him at the moment. Your vision is based on things that are moving. Everything
Okay.
else doesn't exist effectively.
Okay, my
oh,
arm feels. Is it still as tightly wrapped as it was when he caught that? Did you ever catch my arm?
He did.
When
I did.
Um,
Okay.
Your arm got caught the moment it hit Kane.
does your strings move along her arm?
They sit, since they're holding her arm, they're sitting stationary.
Okay, in that case, you would your arm just looks slightly
Would I feel
compressed.
a taunt?
Yeah, you can
I
feel
feel it
taunt whenever
taunt?
you move your arm. It does feel taut against it.
Okay.
Mhm.
I am going to use all my strength and try to do I wanna do that, or do I wanna do the other thing that I wanna do?
You are very big at the moment, so in potentiality you could pull him, but that might be a little difficult for you.
It's wrapped around my arm. Does it feel like when it's wrapped around my arm, it's like connected to a wall immediately? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
As you
Like, my
pull your
is
arm,
here, and then
the
it feels like
strings go
this?
to where you assume he is from his voice, and that's about all you can feel. He could potentially be grabbed.
Okay, so it's like
It's a
So
sense
it's
of
like
the strings are going
crawling
everywhere
on me.
around him.
Mhm.
You're not.
is it like
you're-
this?
The strings are more like, say, scattered points.
Mhm.
Again, dollhouse to dollhouse, he can connect points together with the strings. You're not fully sure where they are. You think they lead back to him because of his quirk, but
Mhm.
you're not fully sure because there are a lot of floating. Like, the way you see things, since your sight is on movement and these strings are constantly moving,
Mhm.
they're basically flowing in the wind.
Mhm.
They're
Okay.
caught on currents in the air around him. Even the most slight currents have caught strings. And there are strings you also can't see because they're stuck to the ground, etc., etc. Basically, the moment you enter this thing, you're entering
Mhm.
the domain of Dollhouse's strings. But you notice the strings themselves don't all seem to be connect. Like the strings, when you pull your arms left and right, it feels like that string is pushing in the opposite direction or the correct direction towards you.
Mhm.
Every string seems to be moving in a just slightly different way that you can feel on your arm. But you do notice that, yeah, at some point or another, you notice that there's strings all the way towards him moving and getting pulled slightly. Not very much, but slightly.
Mhm.
It's enough to be
Okay.
noticeable, but not enough for you to say understand it completely.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna try and pull. I'm gonna try and wrap my hand around some of the strings,
Mhm.
and I'm going to pull.
Oof. Roll me a strength. Since you're in your super big form, it's gonna be a +2 to whatever your roll is. Boop, doop, boop.
All right, I have to go in there and do that.
Yep.
Oh no!
Wow.
Oh no.
You attempt to reach forwards, but one thing that you aren't able to tell very easily, even though it is on your arm, is that, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, Wars, these strings are sharp, depending on...
They are sharp, but since he has so many wrapped around her arm, and he's also being careful not to hurt his students.
Yeah, she
roughly,
just straight up just
she
grabbed a whole bunch of your things and pulled as hard as she could backwards.
Yeah, nothing happens to her hand because, again,
Mhm.
since she pulled a lot of, she's grabbing a lot of strings. Because again, it's acting like the strings themselves act like grab wire.
Mhm.
If you have a lot of it, it's probably not going to do very much. At
True.
most, it's more like it's putting indents in her skin, but it's not breaking anything. It's not actually doing.
Oh yeah,
anything to
also
her
because
skin.
she has super strong arms. Yeah.
Oh, so you got to remember, she's got a huge arm right now. So if she's grabbing a decent amount of them,
Mhm.
at most they're stopping you from pulling back. And Dollhouse is, again, you notice that in the sense your vision, you notice that the head turns and looks at you for a moment,
Mhm.
and looks back at Kane as it's also dealing with the puke everywhere around him
Yeah.
now.
So you've now
Hmm.
grabbed a large chunk of wires that were previously connected to your arm, wrapped them essentially around your hand, and start pulling backwards. Which really you're now just in a tug of war almost with these strings. So you aren't moving very far, but you're also not moving very close. Hold on just a second.
I'll try my other thing the next round.
Oh yeah, I can totally do that for you, Yuki. Just click where you want me to put, essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, one
So,
of them kind of disappears lately.
Okay. So I have a couple of questions before I do the thing that I really want to do.
Okay.
I'm like really excited for this. With my sense, with how high it is, can I tell like where the strings are now
Your
that we know
sense
that
is
they're
a
strings?
5, so if you rolled a high enough sense, you could potentially see where they are. The ones in the air specifically.
Okay.
That's a 16.
Yeah, I would say she'd be able to.
Yeah, so you can more or less see the ones in the air. They're kind of floating, especially the ones that Sophina has gripped because they're all bundled up. The one that you can see where they're going towards in the main directions that eventually lead back to
Okay.
him.
And since my speed is also is my speed reduced because of my thing that I did?
Let's see. The way that you disappeared, it would actually
No.
probably. Huh?
Not that I disappeared, but the thing that I changed into.
Oh, technically that would increase your speed, I believe. Actually, no,
Oh,
you're
it
not a
would.
mouse. Sorry, I was thinking of something else. Probably it would slightly decrease, but you're still relatively fast. You are quite
Okay.
a ways away from them, though.
Right. Yeah, I'm planning on being in this form for a while.
Okay.
I want to start making my way over here.
Okay. Let me
And I'm
whisper
giving a
something to you
berth.
real quick.
I'm giving a wide
Yeah.
berth.
Let me whisper something to you real quick. Actually, real quick. Can anything touch your wires without you noticing?
No, because again, what they actually arson,
Mhm.
you know full
Oh,
well
true.
that would be possible. 'Cause you know what they actually are
I would
made
try
of.
and avoid as many of the wires as I could physically
Okay.
see.
Since you're so tiny, I would say you'd probably be able to dodge most of them. Roll me a dex.
Oh God.
+2. Oof,
Mm,
as not very high. Wars, roll me a
I
dex.
know.
Let's
Minus
see what
1.
I did. -1. All right.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Why does that say Ron Dex?
Oh, that
I
changed.
didn't change the thing. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sin, you're gonna have to minus that
Ah,
yourself. but-
shit.
Yeah, I just look at it and minus it. Yeah, you as you're running across the thing, you are expertly dodging every single wire in the air.
Mhm.
As Warris mentioned earlier, the ones in the air aren't the only ones, however.
I wasn't in the air though. How
Yeah, I
would
know.
be
Were
in
You
the-
on the ground.
Yeah.
hmm
You were dodging the ones that were moving through the air.
Oh shit.
But you
Okay.
weren't paying attention to the ones in the ground.
Are they like how big are they compared to me right now?
They're
They
still
are.
smaller than you.
Yeah, they're literally wire thin, which is why they're so hard to see for the most part. But
Right.
yeah,
But my size.
they're basically you would be able to climb on them, is how small they are. They're effectively the same size as spider webs. So you would actually,
Okay.
which is why you're able to dodge the ones that are kind of moving through the air, because most people get grappled by it. However, as Waro said previously, there are cracks in the floor that he has them laid in. And so as you're running across, he actually slams one upwards as you're moving, because he can feel the vibrations.
Oh no! This is gonna hurt a lot.
Yeah, you got hit in the gut with that, by the way. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that now. The moment your foot touched one, as it passed over, you notice that your gut gets hit like a truck by like 4 or 5 strings, and now you're floating in the air.
Oof.
Then what does this do to me because of what I am?
You are a spider, but he is extremely careful with his
Is he?
students, as he mentioned earlier. So you are unharmed, but you have about every piece of wind in your stomach is now out.
Okay. Like literally nobody can probably see me from a distance because I'm the size of a
Yeah.
jumping spider.
Yeah.
Could I see her
You
though?
notice? Mm.
'Cause
She's
I
in the
see
air, so you
movement.
can see a speck of dust effectively to you, moving slightly.
It's a jumping spider that I'm a jumping spider, Meg. I'm really tiny.
Yeah,
I would
you can
not
see a
focus on
speck
it,
of
that is-
dust moving.
It's technically insignificant to me.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Ron, would you like to do anything?
Yes. Actually, he would like to do something.
Okay.
You see Onyx finally stand up, but he takes 2 steps back. Be perfectly even distance from you, at least what he sees. And you
Go
see
for
him,
the long distance, nothing but net.
you see him stand similar to you do, as he's just kind of like looking around a bit, as he's like kind of mimicking you.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting. Okay.
You
So
notice
I-
that Dollhouse, after looking at Aki, like he looks directly at you, even though you're really small, and he goes, "Good use of your quirk, but you didn't listen to what I had said."
True. True.
Mm-hmm.
-2 points as he looks back at Ron. Now, what are you doing, Mr.
Wait,
Onyx?
how many points do I have?
Currently, you have the most. Currently, you sit at the most with Akia at about 80.
Nice.
You're gaining and losing points as you act. You two have acted really well. Sophina, because of her actions, based wordless with you, and yet you two work together, you probably sit at the most with 90, while Akia's at 80 and Sophina's at 70. Ron currently sitting at about 50 because he was actually observant and has waited for others to act. Same with Bella, but due to them not actually acting and Ron doing a mimicry at this point,
No, not
roughly
exactly a mimicry. More like I'm just trying to get a lay of the land, so to speak.
you're being perceptive, which is the point of the lesson, is to be perceptive in teamwork. Therefore, you are working with your team, so you're sitting at 50 next to being perceptive, which is still sitting you at 50. Bella's roughly the same, but I haven't seen her actually do anything, so she's sitting probably at the lowest at a 30 or 20.
So,
Has enough time passed for me to make another sense roll?
If you so wish.
Yes.
Cool. I keep failing them.
I know, right? It's funny.
Kane,
let's
with
see.
your perfect vision, can I describe this one, Sin?
Yeah. More than welcome to.
You
I'm looking
see-
at something.
Everything. You see the strings that are all the strings in the area. You notice that 15 feet around him, by the way, is very thick. Like the air itself is thick with string. You notice that these strings are moving constantly as well as the ones on the outside, but they're moving quicker. Dollhouse never. You realize that Dollhouse never intended for any of you to be able to touch him. This is a pro hero. You recognize this as something a pro hero with a quirk like a string-based quirk would absolutely do this in a heartbeat in front of you to stop someone, especially big things.
So you see Bella kind of moving out to the side a little bit. She's like, "You can do it. You can do it. I have
Yeah.
faith in you." And you guys
You
just
notice-
kind of feel more invigorated.
Kane, you realize that this guy in front of you has been a pro hero for a while. Because you've seen stuff like this with different string quirks before. But you notice that he himself hasn't actually moved.
Sorry, it's just you have no idea how true that is.
Yeah, he doesn't know how true, but like if you've seen like again, this is coming from Dollhouse's
Yeah.
perspective, kind of. But you're not sure whose quirk this is because again, you've never seen Dollhouse. You've never seen him outside of this place. This is the first time you've ever seen this face. Which it confuses you slightly due to you've never seen this face before, even though he acts exactly like a pro hero.
Cool.
And he's teaching you, and he's already basically figured out the quirks of the people who have gotten into his web. He knows Onyx's stuff because Onyx is quirkless, but he doesn't really know his mechanical. He doesn't know his engineering, and he doesn't understand Bella's quirk because she hasn't really done anything. But you notice that he's sitting there, not confident. He's smiling. You notice his smile is very wide as well, but it's relaxed. His eyes aren't actually focused on anything. it's all been his string.
So
Ooh.
you see,
Ooh,
I'm gonna
ooh,
guess
that
with
might
that
be
13, he can sort of perceive. Ron can sort of.
You can
perceive
see a little bit. You can see, namely, the wires that Sophina is grabbing at the moment. You can kind of see the fact that Washi is currently surrounded by wires. Oh, Washi, roll me an endurance real quick.
As you're continually
Alright, cool.
puking out your
Uh,
guts.
Oh
Oh
no,
no,
I
it's
only
the
puked once.
different
And not only
thing.
that,
Yeah.
I filled myself up with milk
Mhm.
and antacids.
The
So, you know,
wires
maybe drop down
are
moisture.
moving in front of you, which is starting to trigger something in you, but not anything particularly noticeable. And yeah,
Oh
you
yeah,
can see
they're
kind of
not.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
So
yeah.
here's what Dollhouse. You see Ron just start to take off his armor
Hmm.
as he technically strips down to his under armor.
Mm.
Not in front of the youths.
You can see it's a very loose, form-fitting armor. Very, you could say, aerodynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets into the runner's pose.
Okay.
And he takes off. Just
Okay.
Roll me
and-
dex.
and
Yeah.
just slides across
Dollhouse.
the
Oh yeah, cause
the-
there. Well, no, the yeah. So there is a little bit of the sand still there, but yeah. Roll me dex, Dollhouse, real quick. 100%.
So anyone.
So as you're running forwards, you just see what I'm assuming is Washi's face of what?
It's more of a bruh.
But then, just as he reaches to where they are,
Mhm.
he uses his magnetic pulsion because it's in his it's actually that part is actually in his under armor to
Mm-hmm.
just stop himself instantly, and it just frees himself.
Ooh.
He himself freezes himself.
Yeah. You notice that you see strings in front of you moving around, and you notice that 5 or 6 strings had already prepared themselves to touch you.
But
You
then
notice that Dollhouse does see you all, or at least the people that he's looking at.
Mhm.
He really does see. His eyes are slightly glazy, by the way, so it's kind of hard to tell at
Mhm.
times. It's kind of like a doll's eye, as you all notice slightly. And you see Dollhouse like look up and go, "Ah, you stopped yourself. Interesting."
As you
Good.
stop yourself right before it hits, you do notice that a couple of the strings, as War said, were kind of in front of you, preparing themselves, and more or less almost making like a what you can see is like almost a capture point for you. So 100%, if you ran in there, you would have gotten. You would. It would have been like slamming yourself into a friggin' soccer gate, more or less.
So, yeah, he's seeing that,
Sin, I sent you a DM.
and so, all right, I get it. I understand what's going on here. I concede. There's literally no way for me to get to you.
And you see Dollhouse's posture change to a teacher's posture. You know how like some teachers, like when they actually get like proper
Mhm.
teaching, they kind of go into a slight pose. And you notice that Dollhouse goes, "Good but bad. You've realized your faults and your weaknesses throughout this entire thing. You all have tried your hardest, yet you haven't touched me. This was lesson 1.
I'm not
Perception." I know you're not. I'm saying to
Job's
him. I'm
done.
saying to Onyx. Like, this is purely to Onyx.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You've understood your faults and weaknesses, yet I can't exactly pass you either for this. You're about halfway there, but you gave up at the starting line."
Well, usually it's best to give up and try later on when you can come at it with a clear mind.
Yeah, you see Dollhouse put his hand on his chin for a moment, and you go, "I don't understand why she has so much interest in you."
Who
And
has interest in who now?
One of the counselors. They find you fascinating, yet I don't understand why fully. And you notice that Dollhouse himself starts to click his foot on the ground for a moment, and just like,
Oh, hang on.
Hmm.
By the way, I DM'd you, Walrus.
Now that he's
Yeah.
not paying attention, Ron looks a bit, and he takes a slow step forward.
Mm-hmm.
I'll roll a dex with disadvantage, actually.
Yeah, yeah. Because you're technically distracted.
You're able to step in, Ron, without ever getting touched.
And so slowly he starts inching his way forward, watching you particularly to see if you ever look at him. When you do, he freezes, using his magnetic force to freeze himself solid so you can't see him moving.
again, he's seeing more with the strings in his eyes. Because again he's having to look for all of you, so his eyes are actually quite fuzzy at the moment.
Constantly
That's
moving.
why he's trying his best to, like,
Roll me
wiggle
another
his way
sense
through it.
Yeah, roll me another sense if you don't
All
mind.
right. Oof.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is the umbrella still up?
That's a
Well,
good
you
question,
stopped-
actually.
you stopped
Because that
vomiting.
is a live stream. So is the umbrella still up, or do you have to manually unweave it?
No, the umbrella would still be up if he so wanted it to. Again, it's the matter of Dollhouse he hasn't been paying attention too much to Kane because Ron's antics, and he's also been having to deal with Tiny Spider Lady. So half of his attention is basically all over the place somewhat, but the umbrella is still up, yes.
It is still up? Okay. So here's the thing. Let's see. Currently he's facing Ron, right?
Well, currently he's thinking. Is like, thinking. You could tell he's distracted.
Yeah,
He's
he's
tapping his
distracted.
foot and thinking.
And the milk is a fluid.
Yes, indeed.
Has the milk spread around, like, on the ground? How close is the milk puddles to his feet?
Probably a good 10, 15 feet, probably. Because the umbrella would have made it splash quite far.
Yes, but once it splashes, then it spreads out because of the way fluids work. So the question is, the innermost circle rim area, how close is that to his feet?
Closest point to him, I would say probably like 8 feet away. And it's kind of smoothing out a little bit because the quantity, but also there's not a whole lot there. As you guys are doing this, you do see Fire's character kind of near the top-ish. She seems to be actively moving away from the giant screaming giant monster thing, and she looks at Dollhouse. I'm moving her into the barrier just because it's kind of awkward. Actually, no, I'm not put right there just because awkward angle. And she looks at you and points at you. And using, let me pull up the MHA thing real quick, because she has a quirk for this, which I really like. And so I'm going to have her character do this, because it's definitely what she would do, I feel like. Hold on just a second. Sorry, I have to scroll for it. Is it Heart of a Hero? Is Heart of Hero. Yeah. So with her big, bright, powerful, warming charisma, and being able to just be the, basically the person in the spotlight, she is practically demanding all of your attention right now. Let me roll her charisma, see just how hard she is. Pumping this 18. So she's practically trying to demand all of your attention right now, like just smiling at you, the confidence, the happiness, just the pure charisma of this woman is just pressing down on you. She's like, "You are a fine teacher. Good job."
He is a pro at this. He could smell a distraction like that specifically from a mile away.
Here's the thing. You see Dollhouse take his hand and stop tapping his foot, and his head cocks over to her. You notice that his body isn't moving very much? This entire time, the thing that's been moving mostly has just been his head alone. And you see Dollhouse look at her and go, "Thank you. But you should work on that a bit."
You are a fantastic teacher. I will learn so much from you. And you see that tiny spider? It is my good friend.
Well, your good friend has
something.
You don't fucking know my name.
Oh my god.
I didn't actually catch your name, Spider. What's your name?
I'm a spider. I can't talk.
Right, you can't talk. Monster, what's your name?
Monster can't talk either.
Monster can't talk
Monster.
Do you just like bark at growl something? Rawr, rawr, rawr. You are my new friend.
I fucking think it sounds like. Oh my god.
Bark, bark, woof, woof. That's your name.
It's just growling towards you. It's just like, you are my friend. As she looks at Buck. And you, or Dollhouse, you You see almost a tear fall from her eyes. Should smile more.
Dollhouse like looks at her and just Dollhouse hasn't stopped smiling since all of this has started. By the way, his
Yeah.
smile has been a lackadaisical smile.
You notice her grin is even more powerful than yours.
I have a question. Who here is familiar with the Addams family?
I am.
Yep.
Are you familiar with the one that handles opening the door?
Yes.
Hand, or the Frankenstein.
And the hand. And I assume you're familiar at this point with the fact that all of my bodily fluids can open up portals, such as the stomach acid mixed with the milk. 8 feet, you said?
Roughly.
And between Ron and Belle, how distracted is he?
Ron, Belle, Safina, the spider, all in different areas, and Belle like practically demanding his attention as well.
Okay. Can I just describe something real quick?
Yep.
My attention doesn't have to be on one person for the strings to do their job because the strings actively tell me where people are.
Yep.
You can
However,
go around you are a small item, and if you want to, Sin, what would you have to roll to avoid all of them?
Dex.
With a 20 total in sense earlier, so I should be able to see them.
Probably Dex with advantage against your Dex.
That is fair.
Okay, so I roll Dex twice and
Yep.
take the higher.
Yep.
Okay.
And then he rolls Dex.
20.
So that's a 20 versus 15. Wow.
Hey.
First one we've matched.
So, how would you like to? This is such a weird thing. How would you like to put thy hand upon Dollhouse?
So what's going to happen is, as you know, earlier I put a zipper inside of my coat. It had to do with hiding the Snickers because, obviously, can't just go doing that.
Putting your hand, putting your coat, yeah.
And so, my hand kind of moves up to the coat as I disconnect it. I am now handless, which, might be problematic, except the hand will go through the small zipper on the inside of my shirt in order to come out in the area near-ish Dollhouse, where I can see it, and I'm going to have it full-on Addams Family style walk its way
Acrobatics,
forward
you.
on its fingertips, jumping around a little bit. Thank goodness I have multi-talent as well,
You do.
as I end up weaving my way through the myriad threads before kind of leaning back and then forth and doing a full push-off leap to grab onto Dollhouse.
Yeah, and your hand hits Dollhouse's shoulder coat,
Mhm.
and you notice that the moment your hand touches, all of you are released from the string, and Dollhouse immediately starts walking towards you, Kane.
God, that was creepy.
How high was I held in the air?
That's
Not very. Again, you were also a spider, and Dollhouse again has strings, and he's sensing.
Mhm.
You're like maybe an inch or two off the ground at best.
It's also important to keep
Okay.
in mind that things like spiders can't actually achieve a lethal terminal velocity based on their own body mass.
Oh,
And
That's
I don't
Dollhouse
know.
walks over to you and slaps you on the shoulders and goes, "Good job. Your team passes with flying colors. You all worked together. You all did what you could. Onyx, one
The
tip, buddy.
beast
Nice
fucking
distraction.
smashes her hand at.
Oh yeah, because she has
Oh,
no
boy, I
physical control.
immediate-
Okay. Okay. Here's the
Oh
thing.
no, I immediately
moment-
turn
Sorry,
into
she's
human.
still scared
Hey,
of the
guys,
situation.
Yep.
The moment that you try that, Dollhouse's eyes turn sharp. Kane, you see this because you're right in front of him. You see his eyes turn sharp, and his arms feel harder for some reason. You can feel his hands. You can't see them. His hands feel more solid than they were before, and your entire body, for some odd reason, Sophina, can't move. And you see Dollhouse take his hands very calmly off Kane's shoulders and boops you on the nose, going, "It's all right. You're safe now."
Can
Booping the
I-
nose. I
I
was
turn
16
into a
foot tall.
human.
That was funny.
Yeah, I turn into my human form and start trying to calm Sophina down.
Can I have advantage on sense roll or something?
Yeah. Feel free.
Oh damn.
God damn. Yeah,
Okay.
you 100% recognize the boop on the nose was not him punching you, and the fact that you are fully constrained means he could actually kill you if he wished to, but the boop on the nose reaffirmed you in the knowledge of, oh, I'm safe.
Yeah, and then my best friend by my side
Yeah.
gets them to stop.
Woo. Your beast kind of quiets almost
Yeah.
as you turn back to your normal form in a severe amount of pain from having to force your body to grow to such a significant degree in such a short time. Also exceptionally hungry. like,
I just
grueling
hold my
hungry.
Anya
stomach.
immediately starts holding Sophia in a hug.
The Belle kind of like moves over to you and she pats you on the shoulder. She's like, "You did so well. I'm so proud."
And you
As
see Dollhouse is clapping for you all. As you see, he's smiling very like even wider than normal. Like this dude has a huge stupid mouth, and you're not sure why. And he's clapping for you all, and he's happy, and he goes, "Good, you all did well." And Sophia, very good use of your quirk, but do try to keep yourself in some form of line. Being unable to control yourself in that state means that you will always have to rely on your teammates. So don't be afraid to rely on them.
I'm sorry. I will
Hey,
work
hey,
on
hey,
it.
hey, hey. As you see Dollhouse squat over and he pulls his cheeks up a bit in a dick smile. You're alright, no need to apologize, it's your quirk, we understand. There's no reason for you guys to ever feel sorry for your quirks. Am I clear upon this point?
Mm.
Thank
So
you.
smile.
She's
you
kind
see-
of distraught. Yeah.
Yeah. You see Dollhouse
I just hug her tighter.
Yeah, you see Dollhouse is very lackadaisy, even towards you, even though he knows your quirk, and he's actively nearly gotten hit by it. He doesn't look afraid in the slightest, more or less happy, like even happier than normal. And you see him go, "Alright, you five can go sit down. The rest of you, group of 5, and then you can basically skip this part of them basically having next to no... It's very rare that anyone actually gets close enough to touch him, blah, blah, blah.
yeah, pretty much no one get touched to him. I'll go quickly through some of the powers in here just so you guys can kind of get an
I
idea.
will give the next team a warning of, watch out. The floor might be a little slippery now.
So I'll go with these guys first, simply because... Whoops, your face is big.
Oh, he's a tall boy now.
Long man!
Oh,
So they're gonna kind of be in this area more or less. You do see Monkey Boy in the front here.
He's already connected.
Yeah, you're kind of surprised that he's in the front, considering he seems to only have a tail as a quirk. Let me look at these guys here real quick, just so I know I'm getting them correct. So 6-armed girl, whose name is
She's not there.
Minoko.
She's not on the board.
Is she not? Oh, right. Sorry. Not the 6-armed girl. Who am I thinking of? Oh, Fingernail Girl. So you see one of them, which is Fingernail Girl. She seems really nice and really calm, and she starts making her nails grow to about 6 inches or so, and starts kind of almost moving, almost kind of like a shadow boxer, I guess, as she moves a little bit to the side. He really can't do anything other than mimic animals, honestly. That is his entire thing. But he starts...
Wait,
He
he
heard
has
my
a
growl,
lesser
though.
form of me?
Yeah, he starts
Wait.
mimicking a bunch of animals, usually tiger cries and stuff like that. As honestly, he's just
Oh,
providing
like
as much
voices,
instruction.
not like
Yeah.
shifting.
Yeah, he does pure voices, which is kind of odd. And you notice Risa is right here. She seems to be coordinating with most of them, namely Gas Guy, as her hands are running through a series of, you assume, ASL or some form of it. Probably something that they learned from a long time. Why do you keep drinking?
Ninja?
Go.
Ninja?
She's doing hand seals?
Yeah, she starts doing hand signs to them as they start moving around a lot. And you notice that her eyes are constantly moving from everything. Her entire body is constantly twitching and fidgeting. And Monkey Boy just kind of starts running forwards, but because of his tail and the prehensileness of it, he's basically doing what your hand did, but he's standing in one area. So as the strings are kind of moving towards him, he's basically just moving around them extremely fluidly. As what's his face over here pulls off.
Okay, but
wait,
did you see your DMs?
Oh God! And immediately his shirt lights on fire. He's like, "Oh my, chill!" As he starts just flopping himself over more. It's kind of odd and impressive, and it immediately throws everyone's shit sideways. As the dude, the animal cry dude immediately runs forwards, trying to put the guy out, which I assume that Dollhouse is now just capturing them. She's basically just kind of slicing, like not slicing through the wires, but her fingers are sharp enough to do so. So she is like almost threateningly doing so as she's kind of like making a path. He has like a container of some kind of gas that he's rolling by a couple of them. But effectively, because Monkey Dude's shirt lights on fire. There's not much they can do. They both get
He
captured.
deserves it though. He was being a dumbass.
Yeah, his shirt just spontaneously lights on fire, and then they can't really do much, so they really aren't able to go very far. Her ability to coordinate, though, Risa's ability to coordinate was impressively done, though. She literally was able to see every single wire, and that's why Monkey Dude was able to dodge most of them, was because he was basically being told by her constantly how to move, which was a really interesting thing. He was planning on just stunning. The gas guy was just planning on stunning Dollhouse, and she was just being a threatening target.
Yeah.
He was being a distraction. So it was a good plan until his shirt lit on fire.
Yeah, it's certainly on fire. You see Dollhouse during this time, by the way, isn't moving, but you notice that the fire is slowly being snuffed out, but you notice that the time the fire's actually snuffed out. He's just floating in the air, and you can very clearly see that there was just tons of strings, and he stopped the thing because he was possibly injured, so he gave them all a passing grade. Riza got a 100. You notice that he actively said this to her and seemed very pleased with her ability to coordinate with people, even though her quirk isn't exactly... Y'all don't know her quirk, I assume.
I think she's mentioned it once or twice.
Yeah, and you know Dollhouse is very active in that, the green stuff.
Oh yeah, X-ray vision.
Yeah. She's very good X-ray vision. She has actually ability to see objects in different layers, that she can choose which layer she's looking at, which is real creepy, but very useful. So the other team pops up. Bitey McBitey Face is mostly
Toblerone? Oh bruh, share.
Yeah, she's mostly walking forward. He's just fucked off. He's just kind of like curled up on the ground, just kind of like moving back and forth a little bit. He does not seem to be having a good time. He may be having a panic attack, actually. You're not quite sure. What was this guy's ability? Hold on, what was Pink-haired dude's ability? Because he has a very odd ability.
Why is he in this school?
Oh, right.
Is he okay?
He's pretty sure he's having a panic attack, honestly. This dude turns to be about half a foot tall. And just starts kind of running all over the place. He's just walking. He has a very interesting quirk because his quirk is elasticity, I think. Basically, he's plastic, I believe.
And you do notice that neither one of them do get very far, because if he's just plastic, that's still something that Dollhouse can wrap around.
Yeah, well, let me look at his thing specifically. Yeah, because he has a interesting factor with him, if I can find it. Good God, why should she make this so difficult? Moochie, if you ever see this, I hate you.
Are we just sitting on the sidelines watching this?
Pretty much,
Y'all are-
yeah.
I mean, he took the entire class with him.
Yeah.
Each section has watched y'all do it.
Mhm.
Dollhouse used y'all as guinea pigs to see how perceptive the other people were.
This guy has an elastic rubber-like body, so I assume trying to hold him would be semi-difficult, although you would probably have to have a lot of,
I know how to hold him. The moment he steps in and he gets deep enough in, you notice that he just a big ball. One of his feet get caught. You see him basically get slung up, and he's actually turned into a ball by the strings. And you notice that the strings themselves have wrapped around him. And he's like, "I've dealt with enough quirks of stretch to look. I've dealt with enough Monkey D. Luffy's to deal with him." Right?
Fair enough. You also see Spider Chick, who really this is not a good team to be fighting this kind of situation, but Spider Chick, basically with her multiple eyes, she just starts kind of secreting a bunch of spider web out of her stomach, which is quite disturbing, and actually like flings it onto the ceiling, which is quite high, as I said, and kind of crawls onto the ceiling, and like a spider, just kind of starts crawling everywhere, starting making weird patterns and stuff, which doesn't seem to help much, except that she is pretty much just above him and just because she knows how to work with spiderweb. She's basically knowing how to work with this wire. So she's basically trying to do like that spy kind of dive downwards and kind of like move around your wires by playing with them or touching them or anything like that. It's quite disturbing, not very effective, but very disturbing.
You notice that at some point within the thing, you notice she gets about to that 15 feet mark, Kane, that you ended up in, and you notice that the moment like you're counting this because Kane, I assume your character is analytical at some point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, paying very close attention to all of the quirks displayed by all of the heroes.
You notice that the moment she gets even like about that 15 feet mark, roughly, she's wrapped up in the thing, and you notice that her web. You notice with your keen eyes that he was actually providing her a hole so he could trap her. He actively made a hole.
Oh, that's pretty neat, honestly.
Again, he's somebody who's worked all of his life, therefore he can set up traps with his barrier.
The chompy girl, you notice, has very little care for anything around her, as she notices that your stuff is this way, but she also notices that you don't seem to put much in the way of danger, especially with the nails girl. You kept a little bit away from her, mostly so you didn't get them cut. So every single time you have even a single wire coming towards her, she snaps at it like a freaking a crocodile almost, and she is really fast snapping. So every single time you try and move closer, your wiles closer, she tries to snap at them.
But that's the aerial wire. She didn't pay attention to the ground wires then, so she would end up getting trapped via her legs first, probably falling over and getting trapped in the rest of them.
Which was it was an interesting tactic, but not very well. This guy, he had the exact same problem as Akio did. Just gets picked up. He's very creepy though, as his body turns back to normal size.
Does he ever do anything?
No, he's having a panic attack. He's just kind of curled up there, kind of like shaking and shivering, and he's muttering to himself, I think. Let me look at his thing. He has a meerkat quirk, so he has incredibly enhanced senses, mostly hearing and smell, but he is extremely skitterish. He is currently tugging and twisting his tie, fiddling with his clothes for the most part, and he is incredibly, unbelievably paranoid. Also, he does not do well in big or loud areas, which, considering she is screaming, most of the other people are cheering, he is straight up just having a panic attack at the moment.
Yeah. You notice that Dollhouse, like, after stopping all these people, you notice that she kind of, like, with them all in strings, mind you, walks over to this guy, lets all of them go after he's gone, and throws his jacket over him.
You notice he calms down a little bit, but he's just in a ball at the moment, muttering something, pulling on his tie. Yeah, it's.
And he looks at the group, and he does yell for a moment, but he kind of keeps it lower, and he basically fails all of these people because they didn't pay close enough attention. He recommends things that they should have done. Things they should have, he acts like a teacher. He's acting like a proper teacher. And you notice he picks up the guy who was having a panic attack and just walks him out. And he looks at the principal and the counselors and he's like, y'all do what y'all need to do. I'm going to go take him to the nurse's office.
Recommendation to, these folks. I'm going to be all like, obviously a hero in training, but isn't one of the first steps making sure that all of the surrounding individuals, civilians or hero, are safe?
The male chick looks at you and she's like, "Bite me! I was gonna win."
I mean, is it really victory if, like in a real life situation, is it really victory if the body count gets too high?
Too high.
Is Dollhouse still in the room or did he leave already?
I'm pretty sure you left.
Yeah. So basically, y'all are dealing with these three.
The counselor, named the Shy One, walks up and she's like, "In order to be a proper hero, you must first ensure the safety of all who are around you. Then you must ensure that the one who you are fighting is taken care of in an appropriate and manageable manner. And if you cannot take him out," she gestures to Belle, "you must provide assistance in the best way possible. Even if you are distracting them, You are saving somebody's life. She looks at the small guy. Impressive tactic, although I would suggest you watch out for the ground. She looks at the elastic man. You may be invincible, but that does not mean you are non-capturable. And she looks at the metal tooth.
No attitude. No attitude.
Work on yourself.
Work on yourself.
She's got a huff, so it starts walking over to Risa, like just kind of growling at the five of you as she looks at the Spire Girl. You may not have the most versatile talents, however, being able to attach to ceilings is a very good plan. If you had, for example, attached a string to, she gestures to the pink hair guy, him as he grew shorter and threw him into the battlefield while, she pointed to the last guy, he provided a big enough target, you could have gotten through. Interesting usage, bad tactics. As she looks at the rest of your team. You five are interesting subjects. Oops. As she walks closer to you. I understand, Mr. Onyx, that you do not wish to be here. It is a difficult thing to have to follow the rules and regulations of those around us.
I have no problem following the rules. I just feel you guys are all a bunch of idiots.
Many people do. That's why we're not the top hero school. That's why we're constantly competing with UA. But...
Actually, I've seen UA. UA are a bunch of idiots too. To be a hero, you can't be taught it. It's something you have to learn for yourself.
Aye, that's why we teach. See, we aren't teaching you how to be a hero. We're teaching you how to protect those around you. So while you are a hero, you don't kill somebody. How many times have you broken a building with one of your abilities?
How many people have I actually killed? 0.
Do you
I may
know?
have caused collateral damage, but to my knowledge, I've never actually.
I'm gonna call out over my shoulder. The
Mhm.
buildings you destroy. The buildings you've destroyed are places where people have lived. Sure, no deaths, but how many people are homeless because of you? And I go back to my phone.
Did you not see the damage that that All Might can cause sometimes? Or hell, Mount Lady.
They cause a lot of damage, yes. But have you ever seen a press
Being a
meeting
hero
afterwards?
Collateral damage with being a hero will come with the territory. Because
Almost
villains will
certainly.
not care who they hurt. We need to make sure that we at least understand that.
Almost certainly. Have you ever seen a
I'm-
press meeting
I'm
after
actually
All
gonna
Might has a fight?
I'm actually gonna scoff loudly and say, the fact that it's tolerated with them is bad enough.
She looks at you. Have you ever been to a press meeting that has All Might in it?
I
Or
haven't
one
ever
for
had the
heroes
opportunity-
lately?
I have never had the opportunity to meet All Might, technically. Even when I was working as a vigilante out on the field.
There was a
I
battle that
purposefully
happened a
avoided-
long time ago. It was about... this is non-canon, by the way. But it was about 5 years ago. He got into a particularly rough scuffle with a villain that was a big name at the time. He disappeared since. All Might destroyed over 4 city blocks. He caused over 400 people to be homeless for the next 3 weeks. And indirectly, he caused 5 different families to starve. His opponent, on the other hand, killed 4
Yeah.
people.
Still hail him as a conquering hero sometimes.
We do. Because of those 4 families that he saved over 18 city blocks, maybe. You see, we value saving people, but we also value not being a villain. Sure, there are some villains who aren't as destructive, there are things, but there are also a lot of other dangers that villains produce. That yes, collateral damage is in fact dangerous. It is in fact bad that collateral damage is something that we have to view, that we have to deal with, dear Onyx. But in order to prevent collateral damage, in order to prevent people from being injured, we must take care of each other. And that's why we have this school. Imagine, for example, she looks at the male biting girl. She was left to fight a true villain. And we didn't teach her how to use her. We didn't teach her how to use her quirk. Maybe she has something else with her teeth. Maybe she's able to chomp her way through buildings and such and make them better. To chomp through metal and make it smoother in order to make it so we have better foundations for our buildings. But if she fought a hero, straight up right now, it would not matter whether or not she could win or lose, because the amount of people harmed in the beginning would be uncountable. Did you hear about the upcoming villain?
There's an upcoming villain.
Yes.
Up and coming.
Up and coming villain. He's appeared on the news every now and again. And he is one of the most dangerous villains that we have seen for a very long time.
Ooh, do I know it?
You would know it very well because it appeared on news very, very recently.
Yeah.
It would
I
be...
shout it.
Yeah, it would be Jack the Stitcher.
Oh my god, that's bad.
Yeah.
But I do shout. It's Jack the
Stitcher.
Don't
Stitcher?
say the fucking stripper.
I almost did. Jack
No.
the
Jack the
Stitcher.
stripper.
Jack the Stitch is the new up and coming villain.
All right, Sin, you saw my GM roll there.
Yeah.
Seriously.
She looks at you and she's like, do you know what he does to his victims?
Let me
Yes,
guess.
it's very bad.
Yes, let me guess. He slashes them and creating.
She pulls out a file and hands it to you. It's a folder.
You just have it?
Yep. She just has a folder in her hands and she just gives it over to you. Here you go. This was his latest victim. Do you look at it?
Of course.
Roll endurance.
Endurance.
Yep. You gag extremely badly at seeing the pictures. Imagine for a
Okay.
second, you have a normal person,
Wait.
okay?
Do I see the picture?
Oh, yeah.
Sin.
Hmm?
Sin.
Oh, okay, no, that's an auto fail for plot reasons.
So, Sin, look, I know you asked me to roll endurance, but think of all the stuff Ron has actually been through on his travel.
I don't think he's ever seen someone's insides be actually on their outsides and a
He blew a
1.5 gap.
motherfucker to pieces.
I mean, true, but
Came over and saw them. He fought fucking zombies. Who
Yeah,
were
that's a fair
rotted
point,
and falling
honestly.
apart.
Also, Ron, some buck melt a person.
oh right, I forgot about that.
He
Yeah,
has seen worse than this, technically.
well, not technically, but yeah, you don't gag horribly on this, but it is a very disgusting sight. Essentially,
He
it
does flinch at it, you know. He's like, ooh.
yeah, is essentially a person who's had half of their body. So imagine if you had your body laying perfectly down, you took a scalpel and you cut perfectly the entire top half of their skin and you pulled it off.
Oh, he skinned them.
Not
Don't
just
forget-
skinned them.
Don't forget the it's some high point needlework. The
Oh, yeah.
stitching.
But yeah, so basically you would take off the skin, you would rip out everything inside except for the main skeletal structure. For example, all the ribs were pulled out. And all the organs were pulled out, and all the blood was drained from the body. 1.5 gallons of blood is in the regular human body in the adult male, and that was poured into the ground. Wasn't even taken care of. All of the organs were just thrown haphazardly to the side, and then the skin was put back on the body and perfectly surgically needled all the way back to looking like normal.
But instead, they're left a husk.
Yeah.
Literally nothing but skin and bone.
This was his
Right.
most recent work.
Look, I've technically seen worse than this in my time, but this is still horrifying to an extent. Why haven't y'all caught this man yet?
She raises her eyebrow at you. We've tried. He is extremely elusive.
Well, clearly the man has a medical history, or some form of it. Why
He
haven't
has
y'all looked there?
extensive knowledge on medical practices with thread and needles. But he has no medical background. In fact, he has no background at all. There is nothing on this man. We didn't even know he existed until about 2 months ago when he started.
You mean to tell me y'all don't find any evidence of him at the crime scenes other than the victim?
Nope. We have discovered one time that he left a body because we got too close. And so we took the body to a morgue. The next day, the mortician came in, and the body was fully sewn up. He comes and
the
goes
morgue
without
had no
trace.
cameras or anything.
There was no notice, there was no alarms, there was nothing. He could come
Not
into
even
your
the cameras
house,
caught him.
and you would never know.
Have y'all ever stopped to think that maybe he has a way to meld into the shadows?
We
And
have.
even though, how do y'all know then, if that's the case, if this could be possible, that he's not there when you guys find the body, and y'all just don't know it?
We don't. And you know what's terrifying? Is when you're standing next to that body, your boots soaked in blood, trying to not step on their heart or their spleens, so that you may take them and possibly use them in the future, because we have a medic on site, and we could put those organs in another body to help take care of them. And the fact that he could still be there, and he could kill every single one of us easily.
Well,
I look at this lady with concern on my face because there's something going on with her.
well, how about
She's
this?
extremely soft-spoken.
Mm-mm.
Kind of stepping forward, getting right up to
Mhm.
her, handing her back the file as well. Have you ever seen someone you thought was your best friend melt a person complete all the way with lava as you hear them screaming? I witnessed
Actually,
it.
there was no screaming. The head started dissolving first.
Yeah.
Yeah, granted, but no, whatever. That's how he remembers it. He can just
Mhm.
remember a scream. All he may have been the guys. It may not have been. All he knows is that there was a scream.
Mhm.
Because I witnessed that. I witnessed a person melting in lava. I also witnessed a good friend of mine getting almost torn in half, and it being my fault. I will not fail again when it comes to trying to be a hero.
She
And I don't
puts her
care
hand
how
onto your
much they're down.
shoulder. There's a very big difference, dear Onyx, between being a hero and being a good person. If you want to be a true hero, you must do everything you can to save everyone around you, to protect those even at the cost of your own life and your own safety,
Oh, I plan to.
and make sure they don't
But
die
I don't
after you
care.
do.
But I don't care about the buildings. I don't care about anything else other than the people. Save the people first. Damned to the city. I don't care about your city, about your building. I care about the people. I will save as many people as I can, if I can, when I can. But if I have to destroy buildings to do it, I will damn well destroy buildings.
Now my question
It's
for you,
technically related, but totally out of character. Anyone else remember the City of July and Trigun?
yeah, but she
Yeah,
she
no
gives
one
you a very
died.
sad smile, and she's like,
The
the
explosion.
question I have for you, Onyx, what happens to them if you die? If you're fighting a big villain, he's dangerous, and you save as many as you can, and then you die. What happens to all the people you saved?
At least
If
then I'll be
you
out of there.
crush a
soon.
building, and the people in there survive it, and you run to find another, what happens if the villains find them again?
That is why I have no mercy for villains.
We should all have mercy, dear
I've
Onyx.
had mercy. I have had mercy. I have shown mercy one too many times, and it has come back and bitten me in the ass. I have no more mercy to give for a villain.
Do you know
He just-
how most people turn into villains?
He brushes past her, not listening to anything else she says, and he just continues.
She gives a soft sigh and looks at, like, Sophina. Do you, my dear, know how most people turn into villains?
She
Just like
is going to
that.
give a very grievous and like
Washi's actually gonna cut in and
wincing
say,
look.
Mhm.
Like she's
She's gonna cut
trying to say something about me, and I don't like that at all.
What are you
I
saying, Moshi?
immediately start shielding her with my body away from the gaze of the counselor, and then I start glaring daggers at the counselor and
She
like
still
trying
has
to
the
be
same
intimidating.
soft smile. What do you say, Washing?
number one cause is people put in bad economic positions. It's actually pretty interesting if you look over the numbers. One of the largest sources for low-level labor and organized crime is people who were made homeless in recent hero attacks.
Good. You have learned well.
You notice
Many
Dollhouse is
great,
just walking
many
back and forth.
villains that we have seen, small-time ones, of course. We have a large band of them that we know of and keep track of, so make sure that we don't have to endanger many folks.
Alright.
They were all injured by many attacks on the city, but not many from the villains. To protect those who will turn into villains, or who might not, is our responsibility. She looks down for a second. The villains just kill. Almost all of them do. The heroes save. But
At
that's
least
not
the goal.
always a good life.
And that's always the goal, yet it's not always obtainable. You notice that Dollhouse is not smiling at the moment. He just kind of taps her on the shoulder because he notices that she herself has also gotten kind of down, and
Mhm.
he's like, yeah, no. And he taps her on the shoulder, and he kind of pats her on the back of it, and it's like, it's alright.
Mhm.
You aren't wrong about heroes and their economical situations. However, you also have to remember that quirks themselves can actually lead someone down the hero path, or their family. In most cases that I've seen personally, most people got ousted by society for one reason or another based upon other quirk, social standing, etc., etc. That's why the school doesn't exactly discriminate on quirk or quirkless, because in the end, so many people want to be heroes, but in the end, you have most who do it for the wrong reasons. My class is not here to teach you how to be a bad or a good hero. It's teaching you how to be a proper one. The reason I failed those idiots back there is because they denounced each other. If you can't even save the people that you're supposed to be lined up with, how can you expect to save a civilian and put your life on the line for them? To gain injuries based upon your work with them. As you see Dollhouse proceed to grab the arm that he's been using this entire time,
Mhm.
you notice that his left arm has always been in that, right arm has always been in
Mhm.
that sling. And you see him actively pull out the arm from his coat and drop it, and it drops like a stone. I don't have a functioning right arm. As you see him click it back into his sling, I have to use strings to move it. This is an injury I got saving a person in the line of work, and it cost me my arm. You all want to be heroes, correct?
Mm.
All of you in this gymnasium want to be heroes, correct?
They all nod.
Risk and reward. There is no reward in hero work. If you think there's an actual reward, quit now. Because I won't pass you if that's what you're after. You notice that Dollhouse this entire time hasn't been smiling. He's been
Mhm.
very serious. Kane, you see the same eyes you saw when he
Oh, Kane
stopped
just left.
Sophina. Oh, yeah. Kane sees roughly the same eyes as he saw before. A serious person. A
Mhm.
very serious person. I smile and follow the ideal of All Might to smile for the people. Because the likelihood is that you're panicking just as much as they are, yet you can't show that. In a situation where you're dealing with what she just showed you, the likelihood is that you'll be just as terrified. I know I am when I'm actually doing my work, when I'm not teaching. when I've been put into a situation where I'm at a disadvantage,
Mhm.
and I lost an arm because I let that panic get to me. The boy that I took out is fine, by the way, counselor, but you
Hmm.
may want to go see him, and I recommend you possibly send him into a different line of work.
She nods and starts moving out to Sophina and puts her arm on her shoulder. My
I
words.
do not let her
She
get close.
flinches.
I do
She
not let her
flinches.
get close at all.
You
I wasn't
notice that
talking-
as you try to stop her, her hand moves over yours almost like a wave as she gently puts on Sophia's arm, even with your attempts to stop her. And
I
she's
will grow bigger. I will grow into
Mhm.
something that will cover Sophia.
Yeah.
Like I
You-
will
you-
start turning into an elephant
Yeah.
to make sure she
Yeah.
does not get close.
You
Mhm.
notice that Dollhouse
Hmm.
looks at you for a moment and goes, Akia, it's alright. Her quirk is something that should help.
She
The
puts.
counselor,
Hmm?
the counselor in front of you is the kindest person. She didn't show you that to scare you. She showed you that to show you the actual danger that you're
Mhm.
trying to get into. And yet, you're taking a friend of yours that you're protective of into this line of work. She needs to understand that we aren't bad people. It's okay.
She very gently puts a hand on Sophia's shoulders, noticing the flinch. My words were not to injure you, dear. My words were to help you grow. The ones in this place will not hurt you. She moves her hand back, not even attempting to continue touching you. If you wish to
She's-
talk, my doors are always open.
She's just looking on with wide
Mhm.
eyes, completely surprised at
A hero's
how
job is
nice
to
she is.
save, to protect, and to grant happiness and safety. She gives you a very soft smile, which very much so, oddly enough, does comfort you. In order to make
yeah.
those around you safe, you must show them that it is okay to smile. All Might is who he is, because whenever he goes anywhere, he smiles, and everyone smiles with him. Even the darkest of days is light around that man. You notice her weird anglerfish light bulb thing flickers at that point as she smiles. No matter the losses that you may obtain, to save those and help those around you, that should be your ultimate goal. But most importantly, make them safe. Jesus Christ!
Is that what Kane did?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I can hear him laughing in the background.
I knew he was there too.
Kane just came in and clapped him.
Yep.
Yeah, just clapped his hands right next to my head. Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
Oh,
Uh,
Sophina will give
Mhm.
a small trying smile,
Mhm.
feeling a little happy that
Mhm.
this is the kind of place that she originally thought it was gonna be.
Mhm.
A
She
place
smiles
for
at you and
new
nods.
changes.
One thing that you may work on, that may become your signature thing, my dear, is to smile even as your beast form. Make your
Ooh,
beast
I don't know if I
form
want that.
your safe place, and make it those around you safe place. The only ones that are in danger of your quirk are the ones that you tell to be in danger. If you believe that
She
everything
nods.
around you is your friend, you will not hurt, you will not injure, you will protect.
I
And
have one
eventually-
question for you, counselor.
Hmm?
I have one question for you, counselor.
Yes, my dear.
You say that nobody here will hurt her or anybody here, but can you truly say that for Onyx? Can you truly say he won't hurt anybody here?
She smiles and puts a hand on your shoulder. Moochie, real quick, does she have sharp teeth?
When she activates them.
Yeah, she looks at you and smiles, and her teeth turn into daggers as she smiles at you. If someone attempts to hurt someone in this school, they will be injured. There is no exception. To be a hero is to provide safety. If you do not provide safety, you are not a hero. Her teeth go back to being normal. If
Sophina gets a little nervous again.
If someone hurts her or attempts to, that is, by all rights, a way to make it so they aren't a hero.
In the background.
Yeah.
I'm dying. That was me. You
Oh.
heard me through Meg's microphone. I had mine turned
Jeez,
off.
girl.
Fuck.
But yeah, she looks at Sophina. Do not worry, my dear. We do not mean to hurt accidentally. We mean to hurt on purpose. If you strike a hand out and your friend gets caught by the force of your wind, you are not at fault. If you strike a hand out and you mean to hit your friend, that is when you're at fault. Your actions are controlled by you, not by anyone else. And that, my dear, is what we see. If someone
She's just
attempts to
gonna
hurt
nod.
you, it is their fault, and they will deal with the ramifications. When I say that no one will hurt you, I do not mean that there is no chance that someone will not hurt you here. We go through these people very thoroughly, so there shouldn't be a problem. But we've had problems before. What we mean is, if they attempt to hurt you and intend physical bodily harm towards you, they will be injured. Because that is not a hero.
Plus, even if that idiot decides to hurt somebody, he's under our care. And you see Dollhouse is like picking at his teeth a bit because he's also kind of eating something on the side. Sorry, I haven't had lunch. Even if Onyx, he's a vigilante, we can't exactly let him go willingly anymore. Me, the president, the councillors, all have seen his ability and his ability to cause destruction. Even if he decided to skip out on school, we would actually actively hunt him down and arrest him and send him to jail without any of his equipment.
He is a very smart fellow, and he has seen more pain than many of you here likely have. He is a strong soul hardened by pain, but his heart is in the right place. All we need to do is show him where to put his skills and where to put his mind. He has the right ideas to save those around him regardless of collateral damage. If there is a villain who is trying to strike you, focus on disabling him and save those around you. And do it while protecting them and making them feel safe, even as the home falls around them. You see her voice crack slightly at that, and she shakes her head. That is our job. And that is his. Once he gets his hero license, he may go around and protect. We do not know if his laser beams have injured people. We unfortunately do not have a full census of all the people in this town. Unfortunately. But we can at least make it so he doesn't hurt as many, and he has quicker response times to the dangers that follow. If you recall correctly, he came into the area with you all once she gestures to Megan, started screaming. If that was a true instant, he would have been too late. Many, many more would have died. If he were part of a hero team, he would get the knowledge immediately. He would respond immediately. And even before you had yelled, you would be down and out for the count. That is how you save people. To learn where you are needed the most, where your talents, she gestures to Belle, shine the brightest, and to apply yourself to your fullest extent. She looks at Ikea. You and her have a special bond. To protect one another is a precious thing that hope will never fall between you two. She says this with an incredibly sad voice. You can hear the pain in it.
Oh no, of course.
If you
not.
wish to
I would
save
never
each
leave
other,
her.
learn where you best are suited. Learn how to control that which ails you. And learn when to listen and when to ignore. It is important for you to remember that even if you don't believe what the other one says is truth, if someone tells you to go to the west, when in truth the east is where the villains are, you may want to ignore them, but you want to find out why. They told you to go to the east because they were kicking the villain from the west to the east, and you went to the west. You would be pointless and simply serve to terrify the citizens more. Learn from your surroundings. She smiles at Sophina. And learn to control. Thank you.
All right. And you notice that he takes her aside for a moment, asks her to go see the boy that he just took in who was having a panic attack, just to try to maybe convince him to go into a different line of work. Because from what Dollhouse's perspective is on people, the first impression is high from him to see if people are able to become a hero. And the way he was panicking and looking through his file when he was in the nurse's office, he realized that this guy probably shouldn't be a hero from the way he acts. Just from a simple, safe test. So he he asked her to head that way.
Yep.
All right, people. Back to the classroom. And let's get... Oh, wait, what time is it?
Probably very late in
Is
the
it
day.
lunch? Is it lunch? Because we need lunch.
Probably lunch. Yeah, probably lunchtime. So this is where we're going.
Carrots right now.
No, but carrots doesn't exactly make you want to continue to eat carrots, because I'll need more than one carrot and more than
Chomp,
two carrots.
chomp, chomp.
No, I literally can produce unlimited carrots with my little character next to me.
I want to eat carrots for the entire life.
She wants some mates. But anyway, so we're
Can I have
going.
variety?
Towards the cafeteria, off to your left. You should be able to find it when you first came here. Just the same place.
Okay, so just so y'all guys know, Onyx technically walked off and nobody knows where he could have went.
The map for you. I was like, where the fuck did
Yeah,
he go?
you had several people tailing you, but yeah. You are not the...
Technically, the best place to find him would be on the roof.
Probably, she would probably have gone to find you. She's much meaner than her sister, by the way. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that eventually. So we will end it right about here. Fire had a migraine for most of this, so she wasn't able to pay attention too much to this, which is why I had her character be kind of cheering on and be kind of on the sidelines a little bit. So Fire, I will inform you of everything that has happened in this episode in just a bit. Hopefully your migraine gets a little bit better. I'll type out to you or talk to you. I don't know which. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. This gave you guys a little bit more information on, the counselors, as well as a lot of the other characters' ways of fighting and things like that. If you guys wish to, by the way, next episode, as we will be in this classroom yet again, we will allow you guys to talk to some of the NPCs that you guys would wish to. Wow, that looks messy, but that's okay. And you guys will be able to introduce, and we should have a couple of interesting stuffs that we'll be doing next episode as well.
Yeah.
So.
And now y'all kind of understand Ron's new motives. He wants to be a hero at all costs. Fuck the world, fuck the city around him.
Yeah,
He
and
will-
so...
I wonder how they're dealing with the
Will
construction.
save
You know?
anybody he can,
with difficulty.
Yeah.
but the villains, he has no more mercy from villains.
We'll get you interested. That's gonna come up
Yeah.
very interestingly in a bit, by the way.
Onyx's
couple episodes.
Onyx's intensity for killing villains kind of scares Sophina, but it just kind of makes her very much more determined to be a good person.
To be a good person, yeah. So hopefully you guys
Akia is
enjoyed
just
this.
pissed off at the fact that Onyx doesn't understand what the teachers were trying to convey.
Yeah, unfortunately. But we'll get to that in a minute.
He sees everybody. He sees all of them, even UA, as all a bunch of idiots. You can't teach people to be a hero. You have to learn that by yourself.
Which
We're
he has
not
been
trying to-
very slowly going through. But yeah. Unlike most of you guys, actually, I think Akia has about 50 years of jumping experience. Sophina, this would technically be her 50th year of jumping, just because it was technically a
Yeah.
different form and then a different person. So you had very weird experiences throughout your 50 years or such. Belle's 50 years is
me,
fine,
but I have memories of another person that is also me, but not me.
which is very
Character
disorienting
of
for you.
Ron has been jumping for a good while, but he has nothing on those two. But the things he has seen has changed him.
You've been jumping for, I would say, about 5-6 years now, which,
Well,
considering the amount of stuff crammed in
jump
that, is quite impressive.
Every jump is a year, and he goes to the next jump when he can because he can't take it in these worlds sometimes.
Oh, you don't spend your time?
Nah, he does his mission.
Yeah, he does what he needs to, and he figures out, oh shit, I fucked up, time to bail. Or sometimes it's just like, what the fuck?
Yep.
I want to get out of here, please.
But yeah, so hopefully you guys all enjoyed this. If you guys did, please like, comment, subscribe. Joe, check out the villains once we start posting that stuff, which should hopefully be sometime here soon. And we'll see you guys on the next episode, which we're going to have a rooftop because I need maps. And we're going to have the other twin meet Ron, and hopefully Moochie's going to be voicing that one. Because I don't know the personality for mean twin, whatever her name was, Octopus. Yeah.
Octopussy.
So I'm just gonna have you be the mean person next episode.
Oh.
Hopefully.
Yep. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Auf Wiedersehen.
Leave it there.
Johnny!